kind of workers who know how to do this. So
this is a big deal, and they would just demolish all of this history, all of this careful
that's very unfortunate.
Putting together. It's very sad.
It's very sad. So for 20 years, this is a place for the Chinese people or Asian people, not just a place for them to shop or enjoy the authentic Chinese food. It's also a place where they can feel kind of connections to their roots and heritage, right? And even for all the non-Chinese people, a lot of people, they love this place too. For them to get a sense of China, at least in terms of the architecture and aesthetics.
It's a way to go to China without actually
Right.
having to go.
You get a taste a piece of China without having to go to China.
I know a lot of people like that cultural center. They talk very good about it.
Right. We went over the past several weeks. We went to the Chinese Cultural Center frequently. We talked to people who visited there. We talked to a lot of people who are from outside the Chinese community. They love this place. We have one gentleman who lived near the place. His name is we're connected on Facebook now. His name is Danny Milligan. He's so connected to this place. When we interviewed him, when we talked to him, and he was in tears for the perspective, for the possibility of this place being demolished.
So this is a serious thing.
It's a serious thing. For 20 years, this place has become, obviously one of the major landmark of the city of Phoenix. It has become the cultural icon of the city. It's become a part of Arizona culture. We're the country of melting pot, right? Melting pot. So the melting pot culture is one of the things that make our country great. So we believe saving the Chinese Culture Center is to preserve the ideals that make our country successful.
And Andy, we want to help you as much as we can. This is very important. How can people? You have a petition that's going on. Tell them how to do that.
Yeah, we have a petition. You can go to Chip and Salsa Show Facebook page. You can follow the link there. I think.
Okay, we'll put it up if it's not there.
Yeah. So.
Do you have a website for this yet?
We don't have a website, but there has been very wide media coverage. We already hold 2 demonstrations, peaceful demonstration on site. We're going to have the 3rd event. This is not a demonstration, but the 3rd event today at the Culture Center. We have made solid progress. So we talked to the mayor. We made a presentation to the mayor. We made our case why this place is of great historic and cultural importance. The mayor is on our side.
The mayor is on your side, which is a big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
We finally managed to talk to the owner, who is a venture capitalist, big business, big corporation.
And Andy, I'm going to have to cut you off. We're coming up on a break, but what we'll do is we'll continue on Facebook. So if you're watching us on Facebook, we're going to talk more to Andy about this, because this is a really important issue. Thank you, Andy Zhang. Might have you in the next segment as well. You're listening to the Chips and Salsa show, not the soul. Chips and Salsa show here on Central City Radio, King FM. Alice George and Andy Zhang. So we can continue.
So next we can talk about our interaction with the new owner. It's been kind of interesting.
We can continue on Facebook.
Yeah, we're continuing on Facebook.
So so tell us about the owner. What has
The owner
happened?
basically is a venture capitalist, right? He bought this place. So we're trying to talk them for a solution, a win-win solution. So when we, many of the people worrying about this cost, very realistic business. So we understand this issue from the business aspect, right? So we did our own financial analysis. And we believe one can make a healthy profit running this place as a Chinese culture center without getting rid of any of the Chinese elements there. But it would appear to us that may not be in the best interest of this company, because as a big business, big corporation, they want to maximize their profit, right?
Sure.
So you have big business, big corporation trying to maximize their profit on one side. On the other side, you have culture and history that is to preserve. Cultural history, community interest on the other side. So I believe in this case, most people are on our side. So,
But you can do that. I mean, there's a big grocery store there. There's a restaurant there. There's revenue. It's not like it's not making money. Why do they want it? Why do they really want to tear this down? I mean, is it just really
I think the
dollars?
reason they want to tear this down is because they think they can make more money by doing something else. I don't think they're going to lose money by running this place as a Chinese cultural center because, like I said, we have a lot of people who are involved in this cause. They're in real estate business. I mean, they know financials, right? We know the size of the square footage that can be used for rent. We have people who actually run this place before on our team. So we know the potential, we know the current status, we know the past of this place very well. It's not like if he doesn't tear this place down, he's going to lose money. It's not a case at all. You might say something different, but that is not the case.
What will they do if they tear it down? Do you know what they're planning?
Their plan is to convert this place into an office complex.
Without
We don't have enough offices space.
without none of the ornate stuff, without the culture that was brought from China, they're gonna just get rid of it.
It's just, I believe they released their blueprints on the newspaper.
We'll start right at the top, right
Media
at
coverage
5.
on the TV and the newspaper.
I'm thinking
There are photos of the blueprint on paper. So it looks to me like a modern contemporary office building. That's what the plan to convert this place into.
Have they put a hold on it, or are they just going slowly?
thinking when can we play the break?
Your signature so that
I might play it coming in. You think that's right?
The signature is
I
more
wanna
like
get that
to
ready.
raise public awareness, and also if we have enough signatures, the government will have to get involved.
Statue
Right.
We
Gate
have to
versus
come out
Russia
and say
Gate.
something about it, right? The signature just, the petition signature is one of the things we're trying
Everybody,
to do.
Jeff Prather here,
Obviously, it's not all.
ex-government insider.
We're trying to raise the public awareness to make more people more fully understand the cultural and historical significance of this site.
So what's the deadline that you have to save it? You know, to save the tearing down of the...
Yeah, we'll be in conversation with the owner. The city is aware of the situation because we visited the mayor. The mayor has been very supportive, right? So we're in conversation with the owner. At this point, the owner did offer an option to sell it back to the Chinese community. Right. However, it's a catch. The current owner, the True North Company, they bought this property in June, about 2 months ago, for $10.5 million. And now he offered to sell it back to the Chinese community for $30 million.
Wow.
Profit,
Well, that's an interesting price tag, I would say. But anybody would say that, right? So $20 million would be a very healthy profit in 2 months, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, this thing is not about, it's not really about money for the Chinese community.
Right.
Yeah, it's not about money.
Okay, I don't mean to get you. You can stay with us. I'm going to put Valerie and George over here.
Okay.
You can stay with us if you like, and you can watch upstairs, whatever you want.
All right.
And what we're going to do is when we roll into the commercial, talk more about it.
We're going to put you
Okay,
guys
a bit
over
more?
there where Andy
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
So we're going
So we need to boot you,
utilize the
Andy.
commercial time, as you saw right now.
Yeah, we need to boot him.
Yeah, when probably a little bit more, give a most recent update on what we're going to be doing tonight.
We can do that on the next commercial.
30 seconds.
So you let those guys sit there.
We just need another chair. Oh, here it is. We
If
can
they
bring
need
that
a
chair over here.
microphone.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I'm saying.
So who's going to be sitting here?
We can put, they can sit right there. George, you want to scoot over?
Yeah, we can,
I don't know how
You guys can share
yeah,
the
just put
microphone.
one, bring out the other chair over here.
I'm going to start out with the breaker point, George, so we can get it done.
So you want me to start one of the returners, or you're just gonna do that?
I can just come back if you want. And we're back with the second hour of the Chips and Salsa Show. I'm Alice Latta with George Ortiz here. We have a full studio. We've got some great guests coming up. I hope that you'll stay tuned for the whole hour. Watch us on Facebook Live or go to centralcityradio.com and select King FM. We wanted to go ahead and start out with the Prather Point. For those of you that follow us, Jeff Prather every week gives us his insight of the week. And this is about Statue Gate versus Russia Gate. So listen in, and then we're going to talk to Valerie Roller and George Sprankle. So hang tight.
Hey everybody, Jeff Prather here, ex-government insider, now living outside the box, speaking truth to power against the propaganda press, big money, and the deep state on the Chips and Salsa Show with this week's Prather Point. Why is the left now obsessed with statues? Why is the now new story the racism through statues? Why Statue Gate? Well, it isn't that there isn't racism in the United States, although racism against blacks is certainly on the decline. We just had a black president. Oprah, the richest woman in America, is black. The last two attorneys general, while criminals were also black. The real racism in America is against Native peoples. Just look, where do you see Native peoples represented? Where do you, the last Adam Sandler movie, the Native actors actually walked off of the set. The racism was so egregious. So it can't be black racism. The real reason for Statue Gate is that the far left, communist, socialist, collectivist, fascists always have to mold reality to fit their script. And to fit their script now, they need something to scream about and stir up the population about. And so now it is Statue Gate. And that's because they have to take the heat off of Russia Gate. Yes, what has happened to the Russia story? Remember, it was constantly 24/7 on all of the propaganda-pressed far-left channels. Mueller kept getting a bigger and bigger staff, and the investigation kept extending, even while Lynch obstructed justice, Comey leaked and colluded with the government. Mueller has looked into everything. And what has become of that now that we're over a year into that investigation with unlimited resources and unlimited backing by the propaganda press, just like with the Hillary campaign? Nothing. And so the left has to replace with something, and that something is now Statue Gate. It's a phony, anti-racist outrage. So that's why the statues, to take the heat off of their latest lie, which is Russiagate. For more Prather, go to pratherpoint.com. This is Jeff Prather on the Chips and Salsa Show with this week's Prather Point.
And that's Jeff Prather. He's always on target there. We like to call him, he's our fast and furious whistleblower. And he's kind of behind the scenes. He still knows a lot of guys that work within the government. So we hope that you enjoy that. Go to his website and you'll find more. He also has a Facebook page. And now we're going to continue the conversation. And thank you, Chipsters, for listening for the second hour of the Chips and Salsa Show. We have our good friends back. We have Valerie Roller. I like to call her Motorcycle Mama. Welcome, Valerie.
Hey.
Motorcycle Mama.
I got something for you.
Oh, okay. We're going to do that in a second.
All right.
And also alongside is our military moment, too, our veteran. And that's George Sprankle, her hubby. He's here in studio. Welcome, George.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Great. We love having you guys. Well, let's see. Do we make the presentation first, Valerie? What do you think we should do?
It's up to you.
Okay. Well, I had the pleasure a few weeks ago, and Valerie's with Writers USA. They're a fantastic organization, and they had Mark Spencer come and speak about immigration. And unfortunately, I would have liked to have seen thousands there, but there was a good amount that showed up.
Yeah.
And he gave us an update, and it's kind of scary and awful, the things, because it's reality he's talking about. And I didn't know, I bet Valerie had told me before, but I finally joined Writers USA. Woohoo! Tell the audience how much it is.
Well, we're a motorcycle group, but you don't have to ride a motorcycle or own a motorcycle. We're looking for patriots. So Alice has decided to join us. So I brought with me today her patch,
Ooh, that's
Oh,
beautiful.
and I brought her welcome kit. It's only $24 a year, Our mission statement is to educate people, so it's writersusa.net. We're also on Facebook, so you can go and find out information about us. We meet on the first and third Monday of the month, and you're welcome to come and check us out and see if we'd be a good fit for you.
Oh, this is really beautiful.
Put it on your jacket now.
There's also a Constitution in here for you, pocket Constitution. Sweet.
Now, do I have to get a motorcycle jacket to
Yep.
put this on? Or I can just wear it here in
You
chips
can
and
put it on a
salsa?
T-shirt or a vest, or
I can take it with me everywhere.
yes.
Put it outside my car. It's
Yes.
all good.
You're
But
the
they're
motorcycle
a great bunch. And I encourage you, check out their Facebook site. You guys got a Facebook site,
We
right?
would take all day long talking about all the great things that Writers USA has done here in the state of Arizona.
Sometime I want you to come back and we'll do like the whole show about it. I'm going to put it where it's on display. So first of all, I asked you specifically, we're going to talk to George about military and veteran stuff, but I wanted to get an update on the Bundy Ranch deal because I knew that you would know what's going on, Valerie.
Well, I
Thank you.
only
This
had
is
a few people that I knew that were there at Bundy Ranch, like my husband George. The juries have come back, and all but 2 people were exonerated from all the charges. There's still discussion. I understand they're going to recharge on 2 charges for 2 of the people or something. It's just a travesty. It's nothing more than a witch hunt. We've seen this in the past with other people, other organizations, where you try to make an example of them so other American citizens will back down and not stand up for themselves. I believe that's what's going on here. The real travesty, in my opinion, is the fact that the Bundys, the father, Clive, and the 2 boys, Ammon is one of them, are still in jail, being held there with no bond. They were found innocent in the state of Oregon, and they've been in prison now in jail for over 2 years.
And we've kind of, I haven't forgotten about them, but
Right.
there's no reporting or update on that. And forget, these are 2 Americans. They're just in jail, and not even. Aren't they eligible for bond?
Isn't that a great question? They have a ranch. That's the whole reason this all started, was standing up for their rights as being a rancher. It seems to me they're not going to be a flight risk, so why in the hell won't the courts let them out? It makes no sense to me. It's just punishment, because they really honestly don't have anything to hold them on except these trumped up charges.
What's the age of Clive and Bundy?
He's in his 80s.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is sad. The first time I met Clive and Bundy, I went up to him and I said, I'm an old country gal myself. I said, we know this is about more than just cows. And he goes, you got that right.
Wow. And there is a Facebook site.
Yeah.
Do you know what the name of it is? You could probably just
something with
search.
Bundy family. I'm not sure exactly, but I've met Ammon, I've met Clive. Super down to earth, good Christian men, and this travesty is just a real injustice.
Go to Facebook and do a search for Bundy. And there's about 3 or 4 different links you can go to.
You can find them. And I'm sure on your site too.
Yeah.
We'll try to do a better job and update when there is an update. This is a horrible, unfortunate
At least the
circumstance.
co-conspirators, majority of them have been found innocent, and they are no longer in jail, and they have been released. But there's still a witch hunt
And
going
that
on
lady
there.
that was on the face, you were going to talk about, is she an attorney or something?
I know that there's attorneys involved with it. I'm not familiar with them personally.
Well, thank you for that update, Valerie. We appreciate it. I want to take a few minutes and want to talk to our veteran here. George Sprankle, thank you for your service. It's Vietnam. Were you in?
Actually, I was in Vietnam before it was a war for a brief period of time.
You were. Wow. Well, tell us when you joined the service and why.
Okay, I joined the Marines in 1960, primarily at that time to get away from home. And the funny story is my father, back in World War II, was an Army drill instructor. So I think I joined the Marines out of rebellion against him, primarily.
Why did you choose the Marines?
Because my father had no connection to it.
Oh, okay. You're honest, yeah.
And anyway, what I found out for me was the Marines gave me some great opportunities. Travel, for one. Personally, I've been in over 21 different countries. Went on a Mediterranean cruise. That's when they put a bunch of Marines and sailors on boats and sent them to various hot spots, and they more or less hang around in the hot spots and wait for something to come down. If nothing comes down, we do practice landings and other exercises in the area. So I was stationed in Japan. Never did get to the European side of things, but I was all over Southeast Asia and places over there, Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan,
He was
the
also
Philippines.
at Gitmo during the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962.
I was getting
Oh,
to
bearing
that.
the headline. Okay.
I was getting to that. While I was in the Far East, most of you are probably familiar with the Harrier jump jets. The Marine Corps, when they first got those, they kept crashing. So it was very seriously, they were thinking about replacing it with something else because this is not working. We're losing too many pilots and too many planes in practice. So the plan B was to set up a little mobile landing strip about the size of what's on an aircraft carrier with 2 big winches, one on each side, and you could land conventional jet planes on these mobile strips using the cable as an arresting system, what they call the Morris system. So we went around to various places in the Far East, in the Philippines, and whatever, showing people, putting them up, setting them up, breaking them down, moving to another place, and showing the locals and other people how this would work. Well, after we got really good at setting them up and breaking them down, they put new engines in the Harrier and they quit crashing, and so that was so they replaced this whole idea. Now, after I left there, I come back to the United States just in time to go to Cuba for the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Oh, timing's perfect.
Yeah. And anyway, that was pretty interesting. We had 14 miles of fence line to guard, one company of Marines guarding that fence line, and a division or 2 of Cubans on the other side, and the world's largest minefield behind you. So it was about even. And so anyway, while I was there, a funny story was I got a draft notice. So I took the notice to my company commander and I said, Captain, it says right here, I got to report at this date or I'm going to be in major trouble. He says, give me that. You're not going anywhere. Never saw it again.
Oh, that's a great story. Oh my goodness. Government efficiency at work. Is that what it was?
Correct.
Would you tell someone today to go into the military, George?
Most excellent. Yeah, definitely. I think particularly for the younger generation, it opens up their minds, gives them access to opportunities they would not have otherwise.
Thank you so much for being our military moment. You guys are welcome back anytime. We have a slew of guests. We're sorry, we know it just goes quite crazy, but we want to get to everybody. Thank you, Valerie Roller and George Sprankle.
Always my pleasure.
We hope you come again. Keep giving us updates.
Thank you for having us.
All right. And thanks for spreading the word about the Chips and Salsa Show. And thank you, Chipsters, for spreading the word. We'll be right back. Go get some chips and salsa and join us again for another segment of the Chips and Salsa Show here on Central City Radio, King FM, with Alice Lara and George Ortiz.
And for the Facebook, we'll continue with Andy Zhang talking more about the Cultural Center.
That's good, except you got cut off because when she gives you 2 minutes, remember you got to look at the clock because it's going to get cut off. So
yeah,
Rich,
but I mean, it's on
yeah,
Facebook.
but you were on the phone, so I thought you were trying to do it.
He's out of town.
He's grandpa died.
So you
His
could
grandpa passed
continue.
away.
You're still on Facebook and YouTube.
Sorry about that.
And you were talking about
Would you?
the owner.
Okay.
Right,
The 11th of September.
Yeah, so we're
I think I'm going.
in conversation
Okay,
with
I'll
the
do
owner.
I'm getting a lot of people that want to be on
So
the
the
show,
Chinese
so I'm
community, we're
sorry.
trying to raise funds,
I think we're going to have to extend
come
it
up
to
with
2
funds that are
hours.
required to, we're basically exploring the opportunity to buy it back.
That's why we need to have like a whole
But that much money is like it's quite a bit.
That's a lot of money,
And we
but
could do that like even on the Facebook.
we're gonna do whatever
It takes.
whatever it takes. Save the center, because we're saving not just for the Chinese community, we're saving for the entire Arizona community as a whole.
Right.
Right, this is the part of Arizona culture, it's part of Arizona.
So you think maybe they could introduce a bill or something, or maybe put a hold on it?
Potentially, yes, because they would require, the building permit to make some major modifications, right? The city is looking into this matter.
No, we're doing like
We understand this is their private property, right? On the other hand, there's public interest involved. it doesn't mean really, only because you own this property doesn't mean you can do whatever you want with the property, right? That's why you have zoning, you have building permit, you have historic preservation. So in this case, we believe the cultural and historic and cultural value.
It might be a historic value to, because they have passed those kind of laws where they hold on demolition or something, they make it a historic site,
right?
And then it goes to the hearings and stuff.
We're applying for that as well. So what my point is, the cultural value, historic value should put a legitimate constraint on what you can do with the property, right? And we should act in the best interest of the entire community as a whole.
Right.
I believe that will benefit the Arizona community in the long run.
How could the listeners and viewers help with the signature gathering that you have? Is there a site? I know it's your website.
Yeah, we collect online close to 6,000 signatures, I believe, and offline we have a lot of signatures too. We have I don't know the exact number.
Right.
So we're mainly collecting signatures from
Do you think it's
online,
playing
but
over
also petition forms.
No, he's doing something
that
right
allow
now. I
people
don't
to
know
sign
what.
offline.
So you can actually go online and do the signature online.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are doing
So tonight we have another event. It's the Super Air Ranch Market.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't want him to stop
Who's
our
serving
recording.
in the Arizona community for the past 20 years since the start of the Chinese Culture Center. Today's their last day because they're forced to move, to relocate, right, to a less desirable location, which is far from the Asian community.
I was about to say
Today's
per
the last
Sonia,
day
and
we
I said
have an
per
event.
Sonia.
Oh,
We're taking
That's
this
funny.
opportunity to say farewell to them, to show appreciation and bring the community together. So inside the ranch market.
Inside and that
Yeah,
ranch
6:30
If I just touch
tonight.
it, will it come
and
out?
the ranch
Market in the Chinese Culture Center.
Oh, okay.
Right. They're relocating. Today's their last day. So
Oh,
we're
wow.
having a community event tonight.
Oh,
I
wow.
believe all the major media, the
Or text
TV,
it to me.
newspaper, they'll be
Can you
there
text it
too.
to me?
Oh, hopefully it'll turn out really good. Big turnout. And,
Yeah, so our effort continues, and we are making solid progress, and
Yeah.
we want to preserve the culture center as a whole.
Did the mayor say anything about what he could do and maybe would do for the cause?
The mayor standing, he supports our cause,
Right.
but he can't order the owner to just, right? So he's encouraging the owner and the Chinese community to talk to each other to work out the solution. And we're not asking the owner to just give it up or anything.
We should need to do the. I think we'll do the Copotazo Award coming out.
To have a
See who
win-win
won.
solution. The win-win solution means
Just about there.
the owner
yeah, he did another
as
commercial.
corporation
We got about a
make a
minute,
healthy
20
profit,
seconds.
and the Chinese community, they can also preserve the entire site. Preserve it not just for the Chinese community, preserve for the entire state of Arizona. And this Chinese culture is not just for the Chinese community, it's for the entire state of Arizona.
But then just let me know.
I hope it really turns out that the mayor could do something because he has, he has business clout and he has.
I think she needs
I
her
got
phone.
one more thing. So after I introduce her, I'll
he
give it to you.
has.
That way, if you need it, then you can
If he
just.
can get involved and try to get balls rolling.
I wonder
Like you
why
said,
my
he's
phone
talking
quit.
to the
Yeah,
owner,
he's
talking-
Just
involved.
quit, huh?
So
Yeah,
actually, the mayor, he himself,
Facebook
he
unable to
talked to
connect
the
the
owner.
camera.
And we
So
talked
I
to
turned
the
it off and
mayor
turned it back
already.
on and it
So
went on,
he's,
so I
he is
didn't know
involved. He's on
Just
top
having
of
a headache
this.
or something.
I think
what we're
Facebook
doing
doesn't like
here
it.
is we're on Facebook and YouTube during the commercial, so that he's still talking about the cultural center. And then we'll come on air on the radio. 'Cause right now the radio
20 seconds.
is going through a commercial.
All right.
But-
You want to sit here? Sit here.
No, but she's got some.
You're good. You can join us.
Yeah, you can.
You want to sit here? See inside.
Stay
But
right there.
she's good right there. Unless,
So he's going to be in the segment as well.
yeah,
No,
well,
no, I'm done. Like you're talking right now.
yeah, he might comment or something.
I'll compliment. Just comment.
Mics are up.
And welcome back to some more Chips and Salsa show. And I hope that you're eating some chips and salsa. We have some here. I haven't even gotten to have some. We've been so busy.
I can smell that salsa from here. Like it's in the hallway, but as soon as they open that bowl, that fragrance came out. It's some good salsa.
Thank you, Secret Sonia. She even made one for me, sin
You're
cilantro,
welcome.
because I'm not a big
Yeah.
cilantro person. Thank you so
Yep.
much. And special thanks for the board. You're doing a great job, because Julian Allison, the owner, is not here today, so she's doing that. And behind, on the Facebook camera, we have Cesar Cisneros' grandson, and that's Johnny. Johnny, you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you so much. Still in the studio here with us, we have Andy Zhang. He's going to hang out. If you have a question, you can also do that. And we're going to talk to Tatiana Marchak in just a moment. But I wanted to do the Cocotazo, George. Who do you think won the Cocotazo? Okay, let me give you the rundown again. We have the Catholic school that removed Jesus and Mary statues. We have de Blasio who wants to get rid of the Christopher Columbus statue. We have Nancy Pelosi, instead of saying, you can't cry fire in a theater, said you can't cry wolf. And then your favorite, the Trump protester, and we'll just say, we call him Pepperballs.
Yeah, he tried kicking that one, and they just shot him right at him.
Who's the winner, Mr. Microphone?
I think the winner should be the Pepperballs.
Pepperballs. So, da-da-da. Boop. You have the dough ready. That's our Cocotazo of the week. So go to our Facebook site, Chips, Letter N Salsa Show. We try to put them up during the week. You can weigh in. If you have your own, post them. Let me know about them. It's all good. If you ever want to get a hold of me, just email Alice, ALICE, at chipsletterNsalsashow.com. Our next guest, George. Have you met Tatiana before?
I have never met her, but we met in the hallway.
You're in for a real pleasure. I got to meet her. She came to our LD meeting. She is a Latina and Republican like us. So welcome, Tatiana.
Thank you.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. And it's Marchuk or Marchuk. Am I saying that right? Marchuk. Okay. M-A-R-C-H-U-K. I'm going to read a little bit about her. She's an active Hispanic Republican, born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. She comes from Costa Rica. So she's Costa Rican and Honduran immigrant parents. Her upbringing was very religious, musically and culturally rich, as well as focused on education and self-responsibility. She's an ASU graduate, with a degree in education, an emphasis in multicultural and multilingual education. She's been an educator in Title I schools in Phoenix, as well as she's taught abroad in Germany and taught in a highly competitive academic private school in the Silicon Valley, California. So you got a little touch of liberalism there, probably?
Yeah.
Okay. She's married, has 2 daughters, and has dedicated her time to her family and to serving her community. She has seen the issues and the Hispanic community faces, and is working to solve these issues by being an active voice. And if I screwed up the reading, I'm sorry, but I didn't make it large enough for my weak eyes.
Thank you. Perfect.
Well, thank you so much. We're excited to have you. And for those of you if this is your first time listening or watching our show, the reason that Chips and Salsa Show exists, George and I are conservative Latino Republicans, and we want to let people know that just because you are not just because you are Latino or even Asian, like Andy Zhang, it doesn't mean because you're a minority that you have to be a Democrat. There's a lot of us that are conservatives and Republicans, probably more even that just don't know they're supposed to be Republicans. Wouldn't you agree, Tatiana?
I completely agree.
I do too.
And Andy does too. So Tatiana, tell us why you're a Republican.
Well, I mean, I wrote it in my bio. I was raised in a very strong family with values and principles of self-responsibility, of hard work. You work to receive what you get. You're not expecting to just get things, And I think that the majority, the big majority of Hispanos have that exact same view, that you work for what you receive. They're not expecting to get things for free.
I think that's a very good reason. And I think there's a lot in our culture, in the Latino cultures, and I'm sure also in the Asian cultures, and that's what it is, because we've had to work hard, and we just don't expect to get things handed to us on a silver platter.
Yeah, and I think that another thing is with the Hispanic community, I mean, we have so many coming into the United States, and they want to come here because it's an exceptional country. We have a very safe, economically, and also just safe in general country. And so they leave their beautiful countries over to come to the United States and be part of this American dream. And so that's what I was raised with, is patriotism and just love of country and what we stand for here. And I think that if you understand what makes the United States so unique, then you're more of a conservative, right? Because it's based on what the founding fathers had established with the Constitution. It makes us different from all other countries on the earth.
Well said. I want to ask you about, in the news, as Jeff Prater had on his Pray Through Point,
Yes.
and he talked about it's Statugate now, in history. What are your thoughts about that, Tatiana?
About the
Taking down the statues and the Confederate statues, and even, we didn't even really get to talk to Kelly Ward about that. But
The
all of a sudden, these things have been up for 100 years and they never bothered anybody before, but we gotta take them down now.
Well, with the statues, just like you said, they've been up for so long, and it never bothered anyone before. In fact, I don't even think many people knew what these statues were. And now we're taking them down. I think it's actually very sad, because if you look at the history of Latin America, how much would we really want to have some of the old statues, art pieces, artifacts, written things from the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Incas, and we don't have that. These things were destroyed. So we see what happens when you destroy these things, whether they be positive or whether they be negative. When you destroy those things, then you lose history. You lose the story of what happened.
That's a wonderful, wonderful point.
Actually, those people are trying to cut off from the history because this part of history doesn't fit their narrative, right?
Yes.
Actually, from the Chinese community, we've been talking about this statue, the event recently.
Mm-hmm.
Much of the event remind us. Like, I'm from China, right? I went through the Cultural Revolution during Chairman Mao's era.
You were at Tiananmen Square, Andy, right? I like to tell their audience, yeah.
So this reminds us of the Chinese Cultural Revolution. And during that period of time, you have a bunch of the young college graduates, these young people. They're destroying all the statues, the historical statues, some of them like more than 1,000 years old, the temples. Because those things, they didn't fit a narrative of a revolutionary or progressive. So I'm shocked to see this is happening in the U.S. now.
Yes.
It's
We're having a
outrageous.
Cultural Revolution, Chairman Mao style.
You're absolutely right. We're down to our last 30 seconds, Tatiana. What would you like to share with our audience?
So we are trying to make an outreach for any Hispanos interested in conservatism. Even if you're not sure whether you are a conservative or not, we want to invite you to meet up. We are going to try to organize within the next month or two, depending on the schedules of everyone, a get-together so that we can discuss about the issues and specifically about how the Republican Party is going to meet those.
Thank you, Tatiana. We'll have that information for you up on our website or Facebook site too. And thank you so much for coming in. We hope you come back when we have a little more time. We can talk more about this and the developments, okay?
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Alice Lara and George Ortiz. We still have more coming up, so don't go away here on Central City Radio, King FM. Did I make it?
No, we're going over just a little bit.
Awesome. We got in there. If you want to hang around, I know we still got to do Caesar. But come back again.
Yeah,
and
let's
then
do
you
it.
can have more time. Are you going to hang around a little bit so we take a picture?
Yeah, because I like to know more about
The get-together?
the get-together and where.
Oh, do that on Facebook right now. Finish if you want to.
Yeah, because you're still on
Talk about it.
Facebook and
It's on
YouTube.
Facebook. Yeah.
Okay.
They're just on a
Got one.
commercial.
I mean, 2.5 minutes.
All right.
She's
The
got about a minute.
email. Hold on, you guys. I have it right here. So this is a GOP person here. It's Moni, MONI campaignlogistics@gmail.com. You email, her name is Monica Yelin. You can email her and just say, hey, you're interested in the Republican Party here in Arizona. You want to find out what's going on. And we will have a communication with you and we'll make something happen because we're definitely going to have this set up.
Could you send that to the Chips and Salsa show to our page or to Alice's page?
We'll do that.
So we'll share that link on our Facebook page.
Definitely. Again, it's money.campaignlogistics@gmail.com.
Take a quick picture.
Money,
Gmail.
MONI.
Get out there.
There we go.
Here, just take
Is
it.
the word
Are we going to be able to do it in a minute
Yes.
and a half?
Campaign logistics.
Let's do it.
Over here, okay.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Quickly.
Okay.
All right.
You guys ready? so I can get a good one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to do some quick changes.
Campaign was different.
You got 1 minute.
The rest of the show is Cesar.
So you can move your microphone back.
Oh.
And I'll take this one, 'cause this one didn't
That's
take
tricky.
over.
Because George is talking, the microphone's down there, and I'm. It's tricky. Okay.
30 seconds.
All right.
We didn't even put in the show next week.
I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of some announcements, Cesar, so we can devote all the time to you.
Yeah. You can put it right there if you want. So, that way, because he's going to be filming this one. And you're on live right now. Facebook and,
Okay. So
and
Johnny gonna be filming?
yep, he's filming you.
Okay.
You're on YouTube right here. These 2 cameras on YouTube. So, it's better. You get a better.
Mics are up.
And we love Chips and Salsa. Thank you, Chipsters, for hanging in there for this 2-hour show. I think we may have to go to 2 hours because we just don't have enough time to say everything and do everything we want to do. Special thanks to Johnny, who's our cameraman today on Facebook, doing a great job. Muchas gracias, Juanito. We appreciate it. And also Sonia, she is behind there on the board, and she's doing a great job. We appreciate it. Shout out to Julian Allison. He'll be back next week, and he's the owner of Central City Radio. If you'd like to do something like we do here on the show, please go to his website, centralcityradio.com, and get in touch with him. Very affordable shows. Maybe you have a message or an idea for a show. Talk to Julian. He might be able to help you out. I want to take care of a few little announcements before we talk to Cesar Cisneros, who is candidate for President 2020. I want to say that on the 9th, September 9th, right? Jeff DeWitt is going to be our speaker at Central Republican Women of Phoenix, and that's at the University Club. So you can make reservations. It's reservations at crwop.org. It starts in the morning. Check-in's at 9:30. It starts at 10 o'clock. It's going to be really good, George.
Yep,
I think so.
It's going to be a good show.
Yeah, absolutely. And George is on every day, and he tries to give announcements and things like that. He does his vlog, VLOG, so he always mentions us. Thank you very much. Also, I want to give a shout out to David Beasley. David Beasley is my nephew. He wrote the Chips and Salsa theme, and you'll hear that every show. And he's having an event in Las Cruces, New Mexico, also on the 9th. You know what I'm going to do, George? I'm going to leave the Jeff DeWitt event. I'm going to drive to Cruces, my husband and I, because it's so important. They're doing a big band event with their church, and I've posted that on my Facebook. It's a really good cause. They feed the homeless. They do things in Las Cruces. And then, so please support them. We'll be talking more about it in next week as well. Also, we want to give some love to Marcia Hill. Marcia Hill. Would you tell the audience what Marcia Hill is doing, George?
She's representing a group that is going to take. They're gonna go to Washington D.C. and lobby Congress for the. What is it?
It's on illegal immigration. What's happening is she is a FAIR, is the organization, and it's like the Federation for American Immigration Reform.
Yeah, Kelly's Law or something like that is the name.
Well, what she's asking is for people to write letters if you've had some instances with illegal aliens, and just write your letter, tell about what happened, and send them to her, and I'm going to give you the email.
Kate's Law, I think.
Kate's Law? Yeah, Kate's Law from California. And you can send them to Marsha, MARSHA 2018, that's Marsha 2018, az@gmail.com. And just one more thing, I have to wish a happy birthday belated to my great niece Sarah Powell. I think you guys have met her. She's 16 now. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Woo. And also belated birthday to my cousin Lorna Kingsbury.
And I had a great granddaughter.
Oh, you did? Congratulations. That's right. I
North
heard you say
Carolina,
that.
yeah.
What's her name?
Persephone Lorraine.
Oh, Persephone.
I can't even pronounce Persephone. Persephone.
You got to come up with a nickname. Huh?
But she's so beautiful. It's my great granddaughter.
Congratulations. That's awesome. All right. We're going to get, the rest of our show is going to be devoted to a good buddy of ours who was here a few weeks ago. Cesar
Candidate for president.
That's for 2020, right, Cesar?
2020.
Welcome. You're Republican. You're Latino.
I'm a Republican, yes.
You're a truck driver.
I'm a truck driver, and I drive a big rig across America.
Wow, and you know what? I have a bumper sticker for you, so you can advertise for us.
So you can talk some about your policies.
Yeah, the last time I was here, I think Jesse asked me what was the difference between Trump and me, myself.
Right, because you're both businessmen.
Yeah, but so he said, well, I said, well, for example, I'm against eminent domain.
Yep, against eminent domain.
Yeah. See, they gave Mr. Trump a pass. Before that, a lot of these Republicans, they didn't like that on eminent domain. See, they gave him a pass. Right? See, for example, maybe there's owners of that had a farm for 100 years, and that farm's been in their family for 100 years, and maybe they want to build in the corner of a street with that 100 acres. They want to build a hotel, all right? And so because they're going to build a hotel, all right? Because it's eminent domain, they can just give the owner whatever they want, maybe $100 an acre. And that's not right, you see, okay? So eminent domain would be good if they would build a freeway, interstate, or maybe hospitals. Maybe a hospital or a bridge or rivers, you see, but not to hurt the little guy. See?
So nothing's changed right now. It's still in effect. They can pretty much do what they want to do if they claim eminent domain.
Yeah, Mr. Trump can do anything he wants. If he wants to build a casino around the corner and kick the little guy out, he can do it with eminent domain. See, right? And I'm against that.
Did you get to talk to Dr. Kelly Ward about that?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Yeah,
you were at the rally, weren't you?
Yeah, I was at the rally. It was good. And it was very good.
Yeah,
I was there's a lot of trouble over there. There's a lot of trouble. Yeah. Some of my friends didn't want to go with me because they were afraid. Hey, we're gonna get hit over the head or something. So but I said I gotta go. I'm gonna go. I have to go. So I did. I was there 4 hours, and I had a great time.
You were outside, or?
Yeah, I was outside. Had my sign. I was waving it to people. Hey, that's me. That's me. That's me. Yeah. Oh yeah. And they gave me a thumbs up. All the people that were in line going to see Mr. Trump, they would come over to me, take a picture with me, and some interview me, and oh yeah. So.
Did you have your signs?
Yeah, I had that one.
Yeah?
I had that one. I had it out like this, and just, hey, that's what it is.
And were these the Trump people or the protesters? I'm teasing you.
Well, Trump people. And,
wow.
Yeah. Well, I had a couple of negatives, but they're always very brave.
I think it is very brave of you. I was listening to a show, and a woman called in, and she had said, my husband won't let me go to the event because he is afraid there is going to be trouble. And somebody else called in, like a Marine guy, and he said, you know what, you tell her to call me, we'll take care of her. We'll do that. George, you were there too.
Yes, I was there all day.
Man.
Yeah, see what happened about 7:38 or 4 around there, 7:30 or so, 7:30 and everything. I could look at my watch. The lines, they shut the doors around that time. So the police came over and said, doors are shut, even those who had tickets.
And there were a lot of people outside?
A lot of people. They were still online.
Wow. So
as soon as he said that, I was gone. I was out of there. 2 hours later, that's when they had the tear gas and everybody out there.
Wow.
The troublemakers out there fighting,
Cesar, one of the things we had expected that President Trump might have pardoned Sheriff Joe, and of course he didn't do it at that event, but he recently did it. He did it on Friday. And on my own Facebook page, there are people that were saying, you know what, he should have done that. That's an illegal pardon or something like that. And the president has absolute power to pardon anyone. Do you have any thoughts about that as you run for president of the United States?
Well, I'll tell you what. In 2012, I met Mr. Joe Arpaio up at remember the presidential debates in Mesa.
You met
yeah.
You met Sheriff
Mr. Arpaio was there, and I saw him there, and I walked up to him, and I said, "Hi, Sheriff Joe, how are you doing? Can I take a picture with you?" He said, "Sure." very happy. He respected me. He was very kind to me. I was impressed. Okay, all right. So we took a picture, and even the security that was with him, he said he never smiles in pictures. Hey, he's smiling with you. Ever since that time, I liked the man. Okay, I like Mr. Arpaio. I really do.
So you would have pardoned him?
I would have pardoned Mr. Arpaio.
Awesome.
Because he on one-on-one, he treated me really nice.
Okay, but
Respect.
do you think that they had a case against him? Do you think he overstepped his bounds, or do you think he was just doing his job?
I think he was doing his job. You know, Mr. Arpaio, to me, he was protecting us, the citizens here in Arizona.
And we're going to
There's a lot of,
continue this conversation actually on Facebook because we have to cut away for a radio commercial. But if you're still watching us Facebook, we'll keep talking to Cesar, and he's going to be back for the rest of the show. So please keep watching or listening to us here, the Chips and Salsa Show on Central City Radio, King FM with Alice Lara, and don't go away. We'll be back. So
Now,
keep talking to Facebook.
you said you met him.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I was impressed with him ever since.
Got about 3 minutes. I'm going to go get some water. You want anything?
Very kind. You know?
Did you ever meet him?
I got a picture of him right here, my phone. Yeah.
Did you ever meet him after that?
No, that's the first time I met him. And that's yeah. No, to me, he was doing the job. You know, protecting us.
You can let the people of YouTube know about your campaign, because the cameras are still rolling.
Right here?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm running for president. I've been running since 2010, 7 years. And it's a lot of work. Not easy, but it's worth it. I feel it in my heart to
Hey, dog lovers, do you need someone to look after your pet but don't want to leave your best friend in a cage in some kennel? Turn to Rover. Rover is your one-stop shop for loving, trustworthy dog sitters near you. It's a free online service that connects you with a nationwide network of dog lovers for hire. Just go to comeonover.com and second browsing dog sitters
I'm not a
in your
rich
neighborhood.
billionaire.
Travel dates or zip
A
codes.
billionaire.
Reviews, see photos, and find the perfect sitter.
And because I'm working, I know exactly what all of you need. You're still working full time.
How would you do with your cabinet? Would you put people, generals or something? How would you select your cabinet?
There would be average people, just average Americans. That, yeah, the common man, common person. People that work, people that, of course, good people.
Would you seek their experience, like the Secretary of Education?
1 minute.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Somebody that's experienced with the
Yeah,
school district?
some experience, yeah, but not billionaires, you know.
Right.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go that billionaire route.
Right.
Yeah, just common folks that are that know what we need. You see, and you know, by talking to people, I can feel them out. That's I must have a gift for that thing.
Right.
We have gifts, certain gifts, and so yeah, to pick a cabinet. Of course, you got to be prayerful too. You got to be prayerful, right? You don't just say, "You look all right, you know, come on." No, you got to be prayerful. Pray about
10
it.
seconds.
Pray about it. You see, you feel good. That's the answer. If you feel good, that's your answer.
All right, we're coming back.
Okay, we're coming back on here. That was a Facebook and YouTube live. It just keeps rolling through our commercial. So now we're going
Mike's
radio.
Okay, mics are
Mike's
out.
coming up. And we are back to the Chips and Salsa Show. I'm Alice Lara with Don Jorge.
Jorge, la clan.
Wow, it's been a great show, Chipsters. That's hard to say, great show, Chipsters.
Chipster.
But I did it. Ta-da! We are, we have in our studio today Cesar Cisneros. We're going to get to him in just a moment. He's running for president 2020. Thank you, Secret Sonia. Thank you, Johnny, for doing the camera work, Facebook, and all of you for listening to us and sticking with us. I want to mention, I don't want to forget, next week, next Saturday, man, we have another hot show. Remember our buddy Dexter Dugan?
Yep.
Okay, the Catholic writer?
Yep.
He's got a fantastic tale, and he's going to be with us. And also, we're going to have funny man, he's really funny, comedian, Steve Trevino. And I think we're going to go to show, aren't we?
I'm gonna try. Yeah.
I'm going to get tickets. I think Sonia and me and Mark and you are going to go, and anybody else who wants to go out there. He's going to be at the Tempe Improv, and I contacted him. We're going to run and get him before the show, bring him to the show a little bit, and then run him back. I think I'm going to ask my husband to maybe do that for me.
Great show.
It's going to be a really good show. I want to thank all the Chipsters for spreading the word about us, because we really are growing. If you'd like to sponsor us, we have sponsorships open. Just email me, alice@chips.salsashow.com. Very affordable sponsorships. We can do all kinds of stuff. And then I want to hold up for our good friend.
Promote your business on the Chips and Salsa Show.
Our good friend Susan Tyndall's out there, and she is part of MAGA, which is Make America Great Again. And she's going to come, maybe come back and talk to us also. So, George, any other announcements before we get back to Cesar?
No, I just think that listen to the daily blogs, and I kind of keep you abreast of what's happening and everything current and what's coming up with the Chips and Salsa Show. And even Cesar says he noticed that our show has picked up in its quality and its reach. And he should know. He's going all over the United States, and we hear from him a lot on our blogs.
And we appreciate that. We're going to give him a bumper sticker so he can advertise more.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, Cesar, let's see. We got a few minutes left. I'm trying to touch on things that we didn't get a chance to talk about last time. So you're going to be running against probably Trump, and who else knows? Who, you know, there could be a lot of others. This is really early. You started nice and early.
I think John Casey from Ohio might.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
What are you hearing out there? You travel the country. What do you hear from the people? Because I know you talk to them.
Well, you know, some are for Trump and some are not. I don't want to bash Mr. Trump. I don't.
Because you have class, and thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't want to, you know. But I got one here about the 401k. You know, a lot of people, like George, I'm sure he's got some 401k money there. And,
you have millions, don't you, George?
But a person, like, say for example, a person has $100,000 in the 401k, okay? And if they're 59 and a half, before 59 and a half, if they pull their money out, they're going to pay 10% penalty and 20% tax on that 100,000. Wow. So the government's going to take $30,000 out of that 100,000. Okay. So that's what it is right now. And so when I'm president, and this is the way the economy works. If you take your money. Well, after 59 and a half, you will not pay taxes, okay? On that, if you take your money, even if you take your money when you're 59 and a half, okay? If you have $100,000, you will not, when I'm president, you will not pay penalties of 10% or 20% tax, as long as you invested in a business, okay? All right? So you can save $30,000 and to keep using for your business.
And could that be somebody else's business or your own business?
No. When you retire, if you want to pull your $100,000 out, okay, you will not. When I'm president, you will not pay 10% penalty or 20% tax on the $100,000. You're going to save $30,000 instead of. Right now, if you would do that, you would only get 70,000, 30,000 IRS would keep. Okay, all right, that's the way it is. When I'm president, you won't pay no taxes. All right, as long as you invested in a business, you got to prove that you invested. Okay, and with that 100,000, for example, you have 100,000, you could open up a taco shop or 100,000. There's something you can do with 100,000. And you will hire 2 or 3 people, maybe 2, for example. You can hire 2 persons with those 100,000, and that's how the economy works. You see, that's how it is. More people will be employed because you're going to produce 2 more jobs for somebody else.
And as you travel the country and you've given people this idea, are you getting some good response?
Yeah, they love it. They love that idea, and it's a great idea because see how much you can produce, you know.
So you'll be creating jobs.
Yeah, that's the way you create jobs. That's the way the economy works. The way I just told you. That's
Cesar,
the way it is.
I don't want to the segment to end. Please tell people how to get a hold of you, your website, and all that good stuff. Plus, you're doing a daily vlog too, huh?
Yeah,
You're on
I'm doing
Facebook.
a daily vlog. I try to do it. It's George here does it on a daily basis. It's good, but see, I'm in the truck, so it takes work for me to.
Please don't do it while you're driving, okay?
No. It takes work for me to do it, but it's good. It's great exposure that people will know my message, and yeah, I do that. And also my website, CesarCisneros.com. And also, if you want to donate for my campaign, you can, because my website's not ready yet. We're still working on it. You can donate to my campaign and write the check out to Cesar Cisneros campaign at P.O. Box 52920, Mesa, Arizona 85208.
Aren't you happy that you're in a country where you could run for president and you're not, you don't have people hiding behind buildings trying to take you out? You know, it's like,
yeah,
this is a country where anybody could run for president as long as you have the desire and the will, and you got to get the signature. Sometimes you have to have the money through donations and run for president. You can be any ethnicity and still run for president as long as you.
You can be any ethnicity too.
You can be whatever you want to be. I mean, the sky's the limit here in America.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, I was afraid of going to campaign over there, but we all have fear. If you don't have fear, something's wrong with you. Okay, but we all have fear, no matter what we do. Even you guys coming here, there's a little fear, but once you get the ball rolling, that fear dissipates, right?
Yes.
And so we
sometimes, yeah.
But we all have that fear. But oh yeah, anybody can do whatever they want.
Caesar, we're down to like our last minute. I'm going to give you 15, 20 seconds. Say whatever you want to our audience, please.
Yeah. So I want to, first of all, thank you and George for inviting me back to Chips and Salsa. I highly recommend to stay tuned with Chips and Salsa. They're growing. They're a great station here, great show. It's the best, believe me. I've known Alice for 7 years. We've been in touch for 7 years. She's a great lady. Appreciate her. And George, the same way.
Thank you, Cesar. Thank you so much for coming in today. We appreciate it. Come back anytime. Thank you for taking our little bumper sticker to, make us more famous. And thank you, Chipsters, for tuning in today. We want to thank our guest, Tatiana Marchak. She was awesome. Also, Dr. Kelly Ward, running for the U.S. Senate here in Arizona, and Valerie Roller and George Sprankle. George, thank you, and have a wonderful weekend, the rest of you. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Johnny. And have a lot of chips and salsa. Good night. I think we just got it. Woo. We got it. Hey, that was fast and furious. Woo. Thank you. So I guess, let's see. Do you want to sign off on anything? What else? Do we forget anything?
Tune in to the daily blogs because you'll get them every day. And also go to our website, www.salsashow.com. Like us, and also like us on Facebook. We're having a contest with likes.
I'm winning still.
She's still winning, but I'm catching up. So, thank you. God bless you, and have a great day.
Walk on.
Walk on.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right.
That's good.
But we had engaged over
5,000 each. Did you see that? 5,000.
Yeah, 5,000.
So it's going to grow and keep sharing. Awesome. This was a good show. Okay, so let's take some photos. That means people actually watch the video, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're going to take a picture of it.
Okay, so let's.
Out of little things become big things.
That's true. Let's make some room here so we can all get in the photo. I don't know these. I'm going to run to the girls' room if it's okay with everybody, and then we'll take a picture.
Hundreds of thousands of dog lovers who come on Rover. It's fast, it's easy, and your first night is free. Go to comeonover.rover.com. Developers at web.com want to build your